It's the NFL on EA Sports, and the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Tennessee Titans and the New Orleans Saints coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to the Crescent City of New Orleans and the Caesars Superdome, the home of the Saints. So good to have you with us, Mike Tirico, Greg Olsen up here in the booth. And Greg, this is one of those games that it's a little old school. Maybe if it was in black and white, it would be fitting, right? We got a couple of teams who love to hand it off and see their running backs do it on the ground.
It's just so cool, and you mentioned it, Mike. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, this would have been the norm on any given weekend, but we're seeing the game trend to more of a passing-style offense. If you want to score points, it mostly comes through the air. So for these two kind of throwback offenses that rely so heavily on their running backs, for anybody that loves old-school power football, I think we're in for a treat.
So pleased to have you along. This should be a good one. We're set, and off we go here on EA Sports. He'll get this up to the 28-yard line. Nice place for the drive to start. Titans coming up with their quarterback, Will Levis. Good performance last year. Taken early in that second round in the 2023 draft. Greg, this quarterback out of Kentucky could be the future for Tennessee.
You'd love to see the biggest jump of a young quarterback's career, Mike, being between year 1 and year 2. I mean, you think about what these young quarterbacks go through entering their rookie year. They have the entire pre-draft process, then the idea of being drafted and going to a new organization and learning what it means to play quarterback in the NFL. Well, in year 2, everything's not new. Everything's not a first experience. It allows them to just take a deep breath, play, develop, rely on what got you here. We see so many quarterbacks in year 2 really have their breakout campaigns and show, frankly, why they were the starter to begin with in their rookie year.
Second and a yard. Now here's a keeper on the zone read. And he'll get past the marker. So he's got a first down on that gain of 5. Now after the run, we get a stoppage for an injured player. Not something you want to see in the opening minute of the game. They'll break the huddle. Coming up now for first and 10. Hopkins sent in motion. On first down, Levis. That caught Tony Pollard. And he'll be taken down rather swiftly after a gain of just 3. Second and 7. From the gun, it's Levis. He finds DeAndre Hopkins for the catch. And that's going to be a first down. A pickup of 9.
Not a whole lot complicated about this play, Mike. That was understanding where the holes of the defense were. Remember, in this zone coverage, you got to find green grass. Get past the first down marker, be friendly to the quarterback, and then the ball has to be out on time before those zone defenders can react to the receiver. That's exactly how it played out here. You can drop all the fancy plays you want, but when the quarterback and the receiver see it through the same set of eyes, it's virtually impossible to stop. Mike, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. The easiest down to throw the ball in the NFL is first down. I hate when teams wait till later in the possession to throw the ball. So early first down completion, you're on the plus side of the field. Now you're thinking strike, touchdown, field goal. But either way, I'm coming away with points.
And they are in great shape. He's taken down inside the 10. It'll be first and goal after a pickup of 27.
There's this misconception out there, Mike, that in the NFL, you have to run the same amount of run plays as you do pass plays. Everyone talks about being balanced. But as you're seeing in this drive, you can fall on one side of that coin a little bit more as long as you're able to remain effective and efficient. So far, their passing game has dominated here early, and that last pickup leads to a first down.
Here's Spears. And he will win the race to the pylon. He's in. Tyjae Spears. Touchdown, Tennessee. Exactly the way they scripted this one. A beautiful opening drive, Greg. Able to find the end zone on the game's first possession.
And, Mike, the word that comes to mind looking at that drive is execution, and that's exactly what they talked about all week long. They wanted to come out early in this game and establish an early rhythm, and that's exactly what they did with that touchdown drive.
The veteran Nick Folk here for the extra point. He's got it. And the Titans will take a 7-0 lead. $7-0 is our score as this kick is sent into the air. Here comes a return from the 5. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. The Saints coming out, and the veteran leads them. It's their quarterback, Derek Carr, 9 years with the Raiders, now year 2 with the Saints. Greg, for a man who's now 33 years old.
There's no denying he is a passionate and productive NFL quarterback. But as good as he is, Mike, he just hasn't quite found a way to get over the hump to join that upper echelon of elite quarterbacks. He has this big arm. He can sling it all over the field. But that big arm is also what gets him into trouble sometimes. He needs to find that happy medium between taking care of the ball while still being aggressive. And if he can do that, he'll have as good a chance as any to come out on top.
It's a nice start to the drive, a gain of 10, and a quick first down. Carr working out of the gun. To the outside, complete to Johnson.
So you come back out here after watching the opposing team score first, and what you want to do is you got to establish a little early rhythm and get the drive started. Every offensive coordinator has drive starters, meaning it's a completion, it's a run play that we feel great about, it's a screen. Get a little positive energy into that huddle, and what hopefully starts out good ends with you being able to get some points of your own.
The reception for Rashid Shaheed. And they'll whistle him down, but not before it picks up a first down after a gain of 7.
Really nice job there to move the chains early in this drive, but now as they approach midfield, continue to keep your foot on the gas. Don't get conservative. Don't start sitting on the ball. Cross midfield and go. Anytime you find yourself on your opponent's side of the field, you have to be thinking points. Just take what the defense is giving you. When you can stay ahead of the chains and just take these easy pitch and catch throws underneath, hitch routes, quick game, now it puts you in a lot more favorable down and distances to eventually attack this defense a little bit more downfield.
They'll come up here on 2nd down and 5. They'll motion their tight end Johnson. Throwing downfield, right side, and it's caught. And they're going to be set up in the red zone. They've got it inside the 15. That is a big gainer for the Saints. 36 yards.
Well, they've come out swinging here on this opening drive through the air, and that's exactly what they wanted to do. Generate some early chunk plays and try to get some points.
A fresh set of downs to work with. It is 1st down and 10. On the ground for the first time, this is Alvin Kamara. And he maneuvers his way forward, a gain of 6. They'll work now on 2nd and 4. Shaheed in motion. Here comes the jet sweep. And he's in. Rashid Shaheed. Touchdown Saints. Good drive. They kept the ball. Greg, they moved it effectively down the field and finish it off on the ground for the touchdown.
So often, Mike, we see teams work on a great drive to get down here close, only to settle for a field goal. But in this case, give them a lot of credit. They put a great drive together, but they're able to capitalize and finish it off with 6.
Blake Groupie comes on for the extra point. He's got it. The Saints come right back to tie it at 7. Each team one possession, each team a score. 7-7 as they kick it off. From the 6, here comes a return. He'll be brought down right around the 25-yard line. The Titans offense ready now for their 2nd drive. They're trying to break out of this deadlock. We are all even at 7 as they start this drive. 1st and 10. Throw over the middle, brought in by Hopkins. And he's brought down after a gain of 6 on 1st down.
These are the type of plays that drive a coach crazy in the film room, and you have to learn as a quarterback to avoid. You can take some chances. You can push the ball downfield, but not only to pick up a couple yards. You got to pick your chances of when you want to be aggressive, and you got to make sure you make better decisions going forward.
They get 10 yards on the hook up there. 1st down for Tennessee.
This may look like a simple connection.
Dennis Allen not sure about that last call, so out comes the red challenge flag. At issue, was he able to stay in bounds? The NFL rules, you're looking for either 2 feet or a body part that is not a hand to be down with possession of the ball. No bobbling, the ball not moving around. He has control, so that's what the referee is looking at here. So the challenge is unsuccessful, and he's going to have to be careful here because he has just 1 challenge for the remainder of the game. They'll come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Hopkins sent in motion. Levis to throw on 1st and 10. Quickly out wide, he'll get it to Hopkins. And they're going to work this down inside the 45. It's been a busy 1st quarter for him so far. His 3rd catch goes for a 1st down.
Every once in a while, it just comes down to you need somebody in the huddle to just make a play, and there wasn't a whole lot fancy here. The quarterback just dumps the ball down, a quick underneath completion, and then really it's the yards after catch that did the rest. And that's what it takes. You're not always going to have the perfect play. You're not always going to dial up the perfect play against the perfect look. Sometimes players need to make plays, and that was a good one there.
And he'll get about 8 on that one, most of it coming after the catch. It's 2nd down.
Receiver just finds himself in a really nice groove, and there's these weird times in the game, Mike, where it just seems like every ball comes your way, every play they call, you're wide open, and you just find yourself in one of those grooves that athletes talk about. So they got to continue to ride the hot hand, because right now on that field, there's no mistaking who it is.
They'll look to pick this up 3rd and a yard. They'll try and run here with Spears. And he's going to be close to that 1st down. Looks like he made it past the yellow line. Yes, he did. It is indeed a 1st down.
Really just the same approach that an offense would take on a quarterback sneak, Mike. You don't necessarily have to spring them for a huge gain. Can you buy just enough space up front to pick up 1 yard? That's exactly what they did. Pick up first down.
And he's going to be stopped in his tracks to lose a couple of yards on that one.
Great job by that linebacker timing his blitz. He didn't give any indication to the offense that he was coming, and he's able to get through that hole and take the ball carrier down for a loss.
Here's a 2nd and 12. Levis to throw. That is caught. It is Hopkins. We'll get about 6 before he's taken down.
I think the rest of those receivers in the huddle have all come to the realization that they might not be getting a target anytime soon, and frankly, I don't blame them. I mean, they're riding the hot hand, and rightfully so. Until this defense proves that they can stop him in the passing game, I expect the quarterback to just continue to go back to him time and time again.
14 yards on that pass play there. That's good for a Titan first down.
They've done a nice job spreading the ball around. Make the defense have to account for as many different weapons as possible here early. But think back to our conversation with this coaching staff, Mike. They identified this guy as someone they needed to get involved early and often, so that might be his first target. I don't think it's going to be his last.
They'll come up here, 1st and 10. Levis with a give to Spears. And he'll be taken down, and that's going to do it. That's the last play of the first quarter. A touchdown apiece here in the first quarter of play. Pair of 7s on the scoreboard. More from New Orleans after this. Play action, here's Levis. That's to the end zone, but they can't connect. It's incomplete. DeAndre Hopkins was the intended target for that one. Now it's going to be 3rd down.
The sideline erupted. They thought that was an easy 6, but instead, it was nothing but disappointment. I mean, that is a gut-wrenching missed opportunity for the offense, and he has his head down just in disbelief.
And that's going to wind up uncatchable out of the back of the end zone. It's incomplete. Tyler Boyd was the intended target for that one, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
They let a golden opportunity slip away on that one. That's the matchup that they wanted. They just couldn't quite capitalize on it.
Folks' kick is good. And the Titans will break our tie and take a 10-7 lead.
It's always a little bit of a letdown, Mike. You find yourself deep in the red zone and you have to settle for a short field goal like that. In this case, he's able to put it through, and they get 3.
Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. Here comes a return from the 3. He's across the 20, taken down just shy of the 25. The Saints offense ready to see what they can do on their second possession. This one has been tight so far. A field goal separating the two sides as this drive kicks off with 1st and 10. And that ball incomplete.
I think you just rushed that decision just a little bit downfield. I mean, it's one thing to trust your guy to make a play in tight coverage. We see quarterbacks do that all the time, but I think if he was a little bit more patient in his progression, there was an easier throw out there that wouldn't make him have to throw such a tight window ball and put his receiver in a tight spot.
Left side into the hands of Olave.
Really well done here by the defense, Mike, executing this zone defense, and they've got to be able to pattern read. You're not just going to drop back to a spot and just play like a robot. Based on what the receivers do off the line, the defenders have different rules of where their zones move to. Well, they had that one dialed in right from the jump, and they were able to stop that play really before it got started.
Great timing to call the screen. It's a gain of 17 and a 1st down.
We see this week in and week out, Mike. These running backs in today's game, they really have the skill set of a wide receiver. So if you're going to guard him one-on-one and you know the offense is going to use him in the passing game, you better have that guy. You better have that matchup guy that you're confident to put on him and say, okay, you're going to go out there in space and defend a receiver like this. And after plays like that, I'm not sure how much more man coverage they can afford to play.
And they'll get about half of what they needed. It's a pickup of 5 and sets up 2nd and 5.
This is a great example here of just not getting too complicated as an offensive coordinator. Who's one of your best players on the field, and how do you get the ball in his hands?
Second down, Carr. The throw out wide. It's caught.
Certainly not the biggest play of the day, but a good example of picking up positive yardage, staying ahead of the chains by a well-timed ball and a well-timed route.
Here's 1st and 10. Now Kamara. He'll be taken down after a gain of 2. They'll come up on a 2nd down and 8. The tight end Moreau is in motion. That is caught downfield. It's Johnson, the tight end. That's his 3rd catch of this first half, and good enough for a 1st down.
Offensively, landing a lot of body blows on this drive, Mike. Just the ability to steadily march the ball downfield and remain so efficient, both run and pass. As they continue to wear this defense out, they have to find a way to end this drive with points. Anything short of that would be a bit of a letdown.
Carr now to throw on 1st down. He'll look middle here, and there's Olave. After the catch, he gets that forward for a gain of 9. It's a give now to Kamara. And that should be enough. He works his way forward to pick up a 1st down.
This offense, they're not interested in taking the deep shot here. 2nd and short, the way they're running the ball, pound the rock, reset the downs, and just keep the drive alive.
On 1st down, they'll stay with Kamara on the ground. And good blocking up front, paving the way for a gain of 8 on the ground. Carr now on 2nd down. Over the top. He's got it. Alvin Kamara. Touchdown, New Orleans. What a terrific play at the back of the end zone. Greg, that is so hard to do, but something you did during your career. How do guys pull that off?
Yeah, the key here, Mike, is the concentration to not only see the ball, but then you have to feel the ground. You have to know exactly where you are in the back line of the end zone. And tell you what, this is about as good as it gets. Come down with the ball, 2 feet in bounds, touchdown.
On comes Blake Grupe for the PAT. It's up and through. And the Saints are on top. It's 14-10. The kickoff team is out on the field. And we're back to it as the kick's away. On the return, here's Tajay Spears. And he'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. Out comes the Tennessee offense. They get set to see what they can do. They trail by 4. Touchdown gives them the lead. Drive begins with 1st and 10. Open man is Hopkins. And they'll bring him down, but not until he gets to the 38-yard line. That one good for a dozen. And a very quick 1st down.
Similar to a tight end, the slot receiver is often considered the safety blanket. He makes all the difficult catches, tends to be a little bit more around the line of scrimmage, and so far today, he's certainly lived up to that reputation.
Room to run past midfield. And they're going to work this down inside the 45. How about this sequence to start the drive? Back-to-back good gains, 19 for this one.
The goal of every offense, Mike, is to find a way to establish a balance between the run and the pass. With some success here early on the ground, will open up things as the game unfolds for the quarterback in this passing game.
So they come to the line for 1st down and 10. Out of the shotgun, Levis. Looking middle, and he's got Ridley. And he's brought down after a gain of 6 on 1st down. On 2nd down, Levis. And that's going to be incomplete. Coverage was good that time. The contact jarring the ball loose and forcing 3rd down.
It's rare to see an offense that finds themselves trailing and say, well, their quarterback's been actually one of their biggest bright spots. Usually that doesn't go hand in hand, so it's a little surprising to see him miss a throw like that on a day where he's completed passes at a highly efficient rate.
He's got his tight end. That's a Conquo. And he will have the 1st down. The drive will continue after a pickup of 8.
These are the play calls, Mike, that offensive coordinators use to just get their quarterback and their passing game into some sort of rhythm. Easy pitch and catch, get the ball out of his hand, see a completion. These typically, as the game goes on, lead to bigger and bigger gains.
And he'll get maybe a yard. That's it. Ryan Brzee there for the tackle. Here's 2nd and 9. No run once more, and it's Pollard again. And nothing on that one, back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it.
These edge rushers, they are judged by their sack totals, Mike. They love to rush the passer. But they have responsibilities in the run game as well. Great job here, keeping it to no gain.
3rd down and 9. To throw is Levis. Nowhere to go. He's going to be taken down.
Defense came out in a soft zone, and I think it caught the quarterback a little off guard. He was trying to attack them downfield. By the time he was able to get through his progression to his check down, he ran out of time, and that's all the pass rush needed to get into the backfield and bring him down.
Two minutes to go here till halftime. We're back to New Orleans after this. Nick Folk now on with the field goal unit. This one from 54 yards out. He is 2 for 2. That kick is good. And the Titans are back within a point. It's 14-13.
And I can tell you firsthand, Mike, when you find yourself trailing in a game, you don't feel very good about coming away with field goals. But in this case, it does get them a little bit closer and cut into this deficit.
Now return coming from the 7. And they'll be set up well as he is past the 35-yard line. The Saints offense ready to see what they can do. Their lead is just a point as they begin it on this drive with 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Carr. And he can't hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. What a good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. And it'll be 2nd down.
A rare miss for a quarterback that we've seen really come out on fire throughout this entire contest. I mean, his completion percentage, Mike, is well above league average, and frankly, it's really the biggest reason why they find themselves out in front.
Now, 2nd down throw from Carr. Pass is caught by Olave. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield. That's a dozen for number 12, and he's got a 1st down as well.
You can see this connection is just starting really to pick up. They're seeing the game through the same set of eyes, and that is the job of the receiver. What is my quarterback expecting from me? Where does he want me? Be there on time, and it leads to big gains like this.
Catch made right side. It's Johnson. And they're going to take this into the red zone to the 15-yard line. That is a big gainer for the Saints. 35 yards.
If you want to score points at a high level in the NFL, you have to generate explosive plays. And after that big chunk pass play, they find themselves now down there in the red zone, and this is where you have to finish drives.
Set to go now on 1st and 10. Now Carr. He'll look underneath here and find Kamara. After the catch, he gets that forward for a gain of 9. Saints going to use their 2nd timeout as they'll stop it just a little bit over 30 seconds to go in this 1st half. Throwing is Carr. He's got it at the 3. And they'll stop him just short of the goal line, but they are going to have enough to convert. It's going to be 1st and goal.
Recognizing the blitz is just the first step in the process for a quarterback, understanding who you can account for with the protection and then who you can't account for. That's where your hot receiver comes.
Oh, he feels the pressure, and he'll go down back at the 6. And with just 4 seconds left in the 1st half, a timeout is called. Here comes Blake Groupie for this field goal try. This about as short as you can get. Groupie's kick is good. And the Saints will tack on 3 more, extending the lead here late in the 1st half.
And that's a really nice boost here before the break. I mean, you work the clock well, you're able to steal some points. The biggest thing is you're able to build a little momentum now going into the locker room at halftime.
This one is fielded in the end zone, but he decides not to bring it out. So they'll take over at the 30-yard line. On 1st down, Levis. That's deep, looking for Boyd. And he's got it! And he's going to be out of bounds. Triple zeros up there on the clock. We have reached the end of the 1st half.
Okay, Michael, thanks very much. And with that, we welcome you all into our EA Sports studios. This is the Halftime Report. These two teams leaving the tunnel, and we'll head out with them. It's time to send it back over to Mike Tirico and Greg Olson.
Coach, thank you. Both teams trying to find the right formula to come out on top in this second half. Coming up. This will be returned from the 6. And he is stopped at the 25. The drive will begin there.
Well, he had such a great first half throwing the football. There's no reason to think, Mike, coming out here for the start of the third, that anything's going to change. He's picked up right where he left off, and the numbers are indicative of just how well he's played.
On 1st and 10, Carr. That's going to be pulled in by Kamara. And they'll get about half of what they needed. It's a pickup of 5 and sets up 2nd and 5. Here's Carr throwing from the pistol. Got his receiver on the in-cut. He's got it. And that's going to be a first down. A pickup of 9.
It takes a certain guy in that slot position to be willing and able to go across the middle of the defense on those in-breaking routes. You can tell this guy, he doesn't care. He is fearless going across the middle, and he's able to secure a nice catch.
First down throw for Carr. Got it into the hands of Olave. And they're going to work this down inside the 45. 18 yards on the catch and run will move the chains.
Well, let's give some credit to the big boys up front in the trenches. They knew that blitz was coming. They held up just long enough that the quarterback could get that ball out safely and results in a completion.
First and 10. On the handoff, it's Kamara. And he finds some space, tackled after a gain of 7 on first down. Here's 2nd and 3 to go. The tight end, Moreau, is in motion. Now the first carry of the game for Jamal Williams. And this takes him into the red zone. He's brought down inside the 20-yard line. That's a pickup of 17. It's good for a Saints first down.
So as we take a look at the box score, Mike, you realize here they got the lead. We're in the second half, but they don't have a lot of rush yards. It's because they use the passing game to score points and establish the lead. Now, how we judge their run game is from here to the end of the game. Can they pile up yards now in the second half and close this game out?
On first down, Carr. Quick throw, taken in. And they'll get about 4 here as he is taken down. Here's a 2nd and 6. The tight end Moreau is in motion. A run here with Kamara. Trying to find some place to go, but nothing developing. Tackled behind the line. It's a loss of 1.
Number 1 rule of run blocking for the offensive line is you don't want to allow penetration. It just doesn't give your running back any angles to cut and find the hole. It's exactly how it played out here. They've got to do a better job holding the line of scrimmage and not getting pushed back.
Taking off, he'll try to get there. And the Saints are going to have a 1st and goal coming up. They try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Those plays are killers for a defense. You think you have the quarterback hemmed in. You think you have a chance for your pass rush to get you off the field. Instead, he gets away, picks up some tough yards, and sets his team up 1st and goal.
And he can't hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. What a good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. And it'll be 2nd down.
And up until this point, this has been an incredibly efficient game from this quarterback. I mean, it's hard to think. Here we are in the 2nd half, and that's only his 2nd incomplete pass. So finally, the defense is able to do something to disrupt his timing and finally try to get him out of this groove.
And he churns out some of the hard yards in this area of the field, working it to the 3-yard line.
I really like the balance that they've showed so far on this drive, Mike, and what that does is it makes the defense have to defend the entire field. The run game and the pass game, everything looks the same. There's no tells, so they can't afford to just dial up certain schemes to take away a run.
And he will dive into the end zone. Alvin Kamara, touchdown Saints. 2 touchdowns for him now in the afternoon. So on 3rd and goal, they run it in. Sometimes, Greg, that's 4-down territory. They didn't need to do it on 4th down. Taking care of it on the 3rd down for the touchdown.
Yeah, and when you find yourself down here this close, Mike, you have to finish these drives off. I'm with you. I think he was going to give his back 2 shots there to punch it in, but he only needed 1.
Groupie able to add the extra point. The Saints will extend this 3rd quarter lead. Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. Spears now to return it. And he'll work this one past the 25 to right about the 28-yard line. The Titans offense getting ready for their opening possession of this 2nd half. The deficit is double digits, so work to do as they begin this drive with 1st and 10. Is caught by the man wearing 0, Calvin Ridley. After the catch, he gets that forward for a gain of 9.
The receiver thought he had a nice soft spot in that zone coverage, and he settles down to give a nice target to the quarterback. But the defense had eyes on him the entire time. Secure rally tackle prevents that from turning into a big play.
A 2nd down throw here for Levis. And he'll be brought down after a short pickup, but that is enough for a 1st down.
We're starting to see this so often, Mike. The days of just having a running back who you're just going to turn around and hand it to, yes, that's still a critical part of NFL offensive football, but their ability to be used in the passing game, just one more thing for the defense to have to defend, make them go sideline to sideline, line of scrimmage to the end zone, defend every blade of grass, and a really good running back goes a long way in doing that. Every team makes an emphasis on winning 1st down, but as a defense, when you're able to take them back for a loss, 2nd and long, you can really become more of a pass-centric defense and really tips the scales into your favor.
2nd and 11. From the gun, it's Levis. He'll look middle here, caught by Boyd. And that'll go for a gain of 7, and it's going to set up 3rd down. Levis to throw. He'll get this into the hands of Ridley, complete. And he's going to have the 1st down. So they convert on 3rd down with a pickup of 9.
Mike, I think we make so much of all these fancy routes, right? The selling, the head fakes, getting in and out of the break. And while that's really important to create separation, that's really more of a man beater. That's when teams want to just play you one-on-one and you have to beat the defender. Against zone defense, like we saw here, it's a lot more.
That one intercepted. Picked off by Paulson Adebo. And And his offense is going to be all set up with a short field and a chance to extend their lead.
I think anytime you find yourself trailing in the second half, Mike, all offensive play callers fight the urge to chase those points. They tend to get a little bit overeager. They tend to push the envelope sometimes a little too far. Those turnovers, they only make the deficit grow, not shrink. Now, there's a lot of football left, Mike. They can still get back into this. They just have to be a little bit smarter about which risks you're willing to take.
On the ground, it's Kamara. And he'll get about 5. Carr now on second down. Quick throw out wide. It's caught. He's going to be out of bounds, but he's got the first down. A pickup of 8.
Defense does a nice job here initially using zone coverage to take away the middle of the field. That's the most valuable real estate in football. Quarterback gets off his first read, sees some openings to the sideline, and him and his receiver are able to connect.
Throw right side to Olave. And they'll get about 4 here as he is taken down. Second down, Carr. He'll swing this one out wide to his running back. That was not what they were hoping for. He's going to go out of bounds behind the line. A loss on that one.
What they teach these backs is when you catch a check down, immediately try to get vertical. Try to put a hole in the defense coming to rally tackle. So give credit to the defense here. They strung this out and made him go sideways, and they forced him to go so far sideways, he went out of bounds.
He locates his receiver. That's Perry. And he's into the end zone. A.T. Perry. Touchdown, New Orleans. A terrific play all the way around. Finished off by the receiver, who not only made the grab, but Greg turned it up and takes it into the end zone.
And that's the tricky part, Mike, that transition from receiver to runner. And in this case, he does it flawlessly. Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then get upfield and get yourself in the end zone.
Group B now, on for the extra point. His kick is good. And the Saints are going to extend their lead. The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. Spears now to return it. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. So, 3 quarters have come and gone. Back with more after the break. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. On 1st and 10, here's Levis. To the left side in the hands of Gore. After the catch, he gets that forward for a gain of 9.
Outbreaking routes, Mike, especially outside of the numbers, everything is about the timing. If you're late with the throw, you're going to be watching that defensive back take that thing the other way for 6.
The tight end, Okonkwo, is in motion. Throwing on second down, Levis. He's going to be hit after the catch, and the ball comes free.
Mike, we hear that term run after after catch so often, and sometimes people miss that there's kind of a middle phase. There's the catch, but before it turns into a run, you have to secure the ball as a ball carrier, right? It needs to be put away, properly held, points of pressure, front tip up against your body. All of that is kind of taken for granted. Catching it is just step one. You've got to secure the ball before you become a runner.
So now, out comes the offense, led by their quarterback as they take over once again. And he has been in control of this offense. Want to run you through some of the action from earlier on. You've got the 2 touchdown passes, over 200 passing yards. He has been excellent all game long. They'll run. It's Kamara. And a good job following his blockers. A gain of 7. It'll be second down. The tight end Moreau is in motion. They'll go again here with Kamara. The defense all over this one. They get him behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a couple.
You have to wonder if next time, does the play caller give his quarterback some options to check out of this play? It was clear before the ball was snapped. This was not a great look for that play call, and you can see the end result.
Carr from the gun on third down. They get 18 on that one. First down, New Orleans.
And really the key to this play was just how fast he was able to get through his progressions. His mind was able to process and go from 1 to 2 to 3 so quickly that he was able to get the ball to the right target on time. And I think so often those two things are different. Being open is one thing. Being open and getting the ball on time, that's what leads to success, and that's what we saw here.
And the Saints are going to be looking at a first and goal. He's out of bounds at the 3-yard line. That's a gain of 14 and a first down.
Sudden change. So you find yourself defensively a little bit on your heels. Your offense just turned the ball over, and now you've got to go out and make a stand. Well, so far this offense has moved the ball pretty quickly, but can they dig in and at least force a field goal?
Carr working out of the gun. That's hauled in at the 2. And he's going to be down close to the goal line. Good job defensively to make sure he did not get to the end zone.
All right, so there's really 3 areas that a modern NFL running back has to excel at. Number 1, the traditional handoffs. Yes, you have to operate out of the backfield like a traditional running back. Number 2, you have to be excellent and reliable in pass protection, and maybe bigger than all of them, you have to be at least serviceable out of the backfield in the passing game. These are the worst. I had a couple years, Mike, where I swear I got tackled inside the 1-yard line 10 times, and then you look back and you're like, man, how many touchdowns did I leave on the board because I couldn't get 1 more yard? Now, for him individually, not ideal, but right now they're on the doorstep of the end zone.
And he will score again. Alvin Kamara, touchdown Saints. He has come alive after the break. His 3rd touchdown of the second half. And that touchdown probably, Greg, ends any small hopes of a comeback on the other side.
Yeah, and I think those chances, Mike, were small to begin with, but with that last score, I think this one is pretty much over.
Groupie able to add the extra point. The Saints will open it up even further here in this 4th quarter. Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. Spears now to return it. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. The Titans offense make their way out to take over once more. Things not looking good. But see if they get the turnaround going here. They'll start this drive with first down. He's going to get it to Okonkwo. on second down. Levis. Looking middle of the field. It's complete.
These curl routes, he's been running these routes since he was a young kid in Pop Warner football, and I like to call it pulling the string. You've got the defender thinking you're going downfield, and you stick that foot in the ground, work back to the quarterback, friendly to the ball, and really nice job picking up the first down.
On first down, Levis. Connecting with his tight end, Okonkwo.
It's not the big play they were hoping for, but first down efficiency, staying ahead of the chains, is what every offense is trying to find, and it brings up a manageable second down.
Out of the shotgun, Levis. Catch made, that's Boyd. And they're going to work this down inside the 45. Call it a gain of 13. First down for Tennessee.
Now this is the epitome of a really short throw and a really nice run after catch. And listen, for a quarterback, it all counts the same. You don't always have to throw the ball downfield to generate explosive plays, and these drag routes can be very, very effective.
And they'll take this down inside the 35. That's a gain of 11, and they'll move the chains with another first down.
It's no secret this day has been a rough outing all around, so at this stage of the game, really no choice but to remain aggressive and just try to find something positive on a day where there's been a lot of negative.
He'll look Hopkins' way again. This is also complete. The motion man is Boyd. Off the play fake, it's Levis. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Really nice start for this defense here early through the first quarter. Two different players each recording a sack. The offensive line's going to have to get together on the sideline with their coach and identify where's the weakness in our protection. How can we get extra bodies and extra attention? Because we still got a long way to go in this one.
Third and long. Now Levis. This is caught at the 2. And he will score. Calvin Ridley. Touchdown Titans. Well, it's not going to be enough, but at least they find the end zone at the end of a hard week's work. At least a little payoff with a touchdown, Greg.
Mike, you can just chalk this one up in the column of too little, too late. Give credit to this offense for not going down without a fight, but they're not going to have enough time to find themselves back in this one.
Now, Folk on for the extra point. The kick is good. And the Titans are able to edge a bit closer. So the late score gets them a bit closer to respectability. They'll try to get even closer with an outside kick.
You have no choice. You find yourself down big here late in the fourth quarter, Mike. You got nothing to lose. Give it a shot. Nice job here by the hands team recovering. They're going to take over possession.
So out comes the Chicago offense as they get set to take over once more. On the give, this is Kamara. Not much there, maybe a yard. So, 2 minutes to play here in the second half. Greg and I back for the conclusion in a moment. They're going to go right back to Kamara. That was some good downhill running to get him about 6 yards and set up a much more manageable third down. They'll try and run for this with Kamara. A field goal, no gimme from this distance. They'll go on 4th down. They'll motion their tight end Johnson. Carr to throw it on 4th down. And he's going to have a Saints first down. Well-designed play to pick up 16 and move the chains.
In order for this play to be successful against man coverage, Mike, 2 things need to happen. 1, the quarterback has to anticipate the break. He has to get that ball out on time. And then the rest is the receiver creating the separation at the top. And when both are accomplished, you can see what the results are.
So this one, a win for the Saints. And right away, you can point to the turnover battle. Always key. Tells the story so often. It did here again today. Their offense didn't turn it over at all. They finished on the plus side with takeaways. As a result, they're going to come away with the victory. So that'll just about do it for Greg Olsen and our entire team. I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. The Saints are winners, as we say so long from New Orleans.